Welcome to the October 2nd, 2004 meeting of the Lyman Planning Board. This meeting will come to order. This is a public proceeding, and unless the board specifically votes to go into executive session, you have the right to hear everything that is being said and to look at all exhibits that are offered. If the board votes to go into executive session, the reason shall be stated. Please notify the board chair if you are having difficulties seeing or hearing. This meeting is being digitally recorded and broadcast on YouTube. In each instance, the burden is upon the applicant to demonstrate the compliance with the provisions of the applicable ordinance or ordinance. After the board votes for the merits of each project, it will prepare a written opinion which will be forwarded within 7 days. The board works from a prepared agenda and will be considering this meeting in the following order. Roll call. Up first will be Carlisle Brooks Estates, map 4, lot 22, preliminary subdivision application. Dan Crook, Salem Capital Group, 301 Middle Road, map 4, lot 43-4. Attorney Julian Gerard, am I pronouncing that correct? Yes, sir. To discuss requirements still needed to reopen the gas station convenience store at 301 Middle. Agenda 3, set agenda for the meeting for 10/16. CEO updates, review the minutes recorded for the public hearing and meetings available on the town website, review minutes for the 9/4 hearing and meeting, old business, which will be the check to see if there's any update on Harper Residential Subdivision, map 3, lot 87-3, and a portion of map 3, lot 87-2, Old Kennemonk Road, 9 lot residential subdivision. No new updates. I'll ask you to assist me in saluting the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On which you wave. And can we have a roll call, please, starting to my far right?
Jim Rivard.
Bill Single, 8 Single Lane.
Kelly Demers, 10 Partridge Way.
Cecile Dupuy, 53 Chapel Shores Road.
Kevin Vare, 64 Bugging Pond Road.
And I would like to welcome Kim. He is a brand new member. This is his first meeting. So welcome and thank you for taking an interest in this municipality. Okay, I will call up Carlisle Brooks Estate to see what you want to do and how we can assist you.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
For the record, I'm Eric Sowry from Altus Engineering. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, Carlisle Brooks Estates, LLC, and I have Troy Williams and Jeremy Franz with me tonight from the LLC. Talk about a 40-acre piece at the intersection of Carlisle Brook Road and Walker Road. This piece is 40 acres, and we're looking to do a subdivision here. And then you can flip. Actually, let me stick with this 1 second here. Walker Road is right here. This is Carlisle Brook Road here, and then the Carlisle Brook itself is down in this wetland pocket down in here. This parcel was recently cut out, so the remaining piece here is 40 acres. There's nothing on it now. There's no houses. It's all woodland, little pockets of wetland here and there, and there's a woods road going through that. Now you can All right, what we're looking at is a simple 6-lot subdivision. Lots are ranging from 5 acres all the way up to just below 12 acres. We've got 3 of them here with frontage on the existing roads, and then 3 back lots here fronting on the brook that are accessed by a private easement in this location here. So what we're looking to do is get some feedback from the board tonight on the layout, also what you're going to be expecting to see from us in terms of calculations and broader plans if necessary. So I guess I'll just leave it at that and take questions.
First question is, when was that first parcel split out?
That was done recently, several months ago.
Okay,
Yes.
so this will be the second
Exactly.
through the 7th split out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Just wanted to do it.
Yep.
My first question is, you mentioned backlots.
Yep, it's my understanding that in Lyman, we're allowed 3 backlots, which don't need frontage on a public way.
Except for, I read that today, backlots require 300 and some odd, 250 feet of road frontage.
Okay, I did not catch that in the ordinance.
Because then if it was a 3, one, it would require 350.
If that is the case, obviously, there's plenty of land back there.
3.3,
Is that on subdivision or on
like
road?
regular. Ordinance.
6.3. 633? You said 633?
6.3, it says actually, page 20,
Okay.
new backlots.
Ah, yes. I knew I was reading that one. Backlot in residential district shall be laid out in such a way that's a circle. Where's the road frontage I saw?
That's 300 diameter, right?
Yeah, they're back up there.
Right, but there was a road frontage that I thought I saw in the, was where it roads. How many little books? The road, street design, construction ordinance, maybe it was there. But that'd be one of the things is making sure, and even if you call it a backlot, you still, because you have so many attached to it, you're gonna be required to bring it up to a certain level of construction,
Got it.
not just base gravel and pack it over and
Yeah.
in the spring it's mud.
Yeah, you're going to want a certain width and certain type of gravel, I'm
Right,
sure.
and that's
Yep,
spelled out in street
Yep,
design.
exactly.
section.
We figured that. And you're going to be wanting full plans for that, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Usually the packets we get for anything above a minor, which is 3.
Yep.
We are looking for the road layouts. You have the topography, we want all the setbacks and everything.
Oh, yeah,
in
yep.
there. We want where the test pit's been done, we want the proposed, where your, my brain is fogged. Where the potential for the houses are to be.
Yep.
Of course, we got some wetlands in there that all has to be taken into consideration with the setbacks from from the wetlands. Yeah, I'm just curious if there was a reason why you didn't make redesign for a pass-through road going from Carlisle straight to Walker.
We didn't want, you're talking about right through
Right through
here.
that cute little wetland. right there.
That was the reason why we didn't. Exactly.
It's just too much in the DEP, EPA.
Well, it's not so much that we could probably qualify for 480Q exemption and fill it, but there's no need to if we don't need to.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where if we don't need to fill the wetlands if we don't need to, and also don't need to construct an extra chunk of road, that's not going to service anything.
Anyone have any questions, concerns? The other thing is, the biggest thing is with the book where we have the subdivision ordinances, standards, that my suggestion, just go through that, check everything.
Yep.
Because your plan is gonna require sprinklers in there. at the
Oh, I'm sure.
request of
Yep.
The fire chief, that is a safety reason for the residents. There's also, yeah, because that's gonna go on that, your right-of-way backlot. I was reading that that's gonna have to be paved before your CO is gonna,
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's typical.
yeah. It's all standard stuff, underground utilities.
Yep. Now, I had a question, easement over someone else's land versus a proper right-of-way. Now, let's say we find out we don't need frontage, for example, if that turns out to be true. Right now, we're calling this just a simple easement, which doesn't eat into the lot area. Are you guys going to accept that, or would that need to be a proper right-of-way?
Where it's 3 lots going through a fourth.
Yep.
I'm gonna want a private road.
Okay,
That way there, somehow, some way you have hypothetically lot 2.
Yep.
Unless you specifically design it with your CCs and Rs, covenants, conservations, and restrictions, that it shall never be subdivided in the future. There, you have potential for at least 3 other lots there.
yeah.
So now we have an easement that lot 4 is granted as part of their deed. And they think that, oh, the neighbors and only 10 vehicles are going to be traveling 10 years down the road. Now they have 6 back lots.
Yeah, and they've all got ADUs and all that fun stuff. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Something like that with LEL 2000,
Yep.
LD
2003.
where you potentially have the possibility of, we tried to figure it out, was it 5 units on one lot? When you get to the lots and the second dwelling on there, and each dwelling having the possibility of having an ADU.
Yep.
So now you have mini subdivision and subdivision, and I don't think the people of this town want that.
Yeah.
big of a
No,
development.
I hear that.
So,
Okay. That's something we can easily do.
Kevin, anything?
I still got to dig a little deeper into the back lot regulations, just to make sure everything is met.
Right, I did some quick preliminary, and I think it was just in the zoning ordinance, there, with a control left search back, right there, 20 points to look.
Yeah, exactly. I'll do the same when I get back. So,
So
Yeah.
in section 1.4.1 pretty much tells you what you have to have.
yeah,
Is that
And it has
something?
to be in accordance with the main law and precision parts of this. And so you're gonna have it
yeah.
fully laid out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure before we had and submitted something that had too much or too little.
You can never have too much
I
information.
guess.
Everything from on the private road.
Yep.
If you're gonna have lighting, what type of lighting,
Oh,
what
no.
type of illumination,
Definitely no lighting.
you know?
Yeah.
It's gonna have to, of course, meet the approval from the fire chief.
Yep.
And before everything's done, the code enforcement office is gonna have to check out, you know what you're
Oh,
doing.
yeah.
We would rather have too much information presented to us, and I hate to say, have the developers spend a little more money than is absolutely really necessary. But for us to go, oh my God, look at the quality of this package that we have for
Yeah.
us. There's nothing we can pick apart. Versus going, well, you didn't tell me. No, as this says, it's the applicant that has to prove the burden
Yep.
that the application is complete. So everything you can possibly think of, you know, like I said, it's gonna be required sprinkles. I don't know how much wetlands there. I know Matt, the fire chief, is not a big proponent of fire ponds.
Okay, that was
Doesn't look like there's
that was in the back of my head. So yeah.
Yeah, he's, they get silted up, they get.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's got to clean them up,
Yep.
and the residents of the association don't want to get hit with whatever bill
Yeah.
it is
I don't blame him.
for the crew and the trucks to come down and clean it up.
We had one where kids were putting rocks inside the actual dry
Exactly.
the dry hydrant. So
Which is
you,
why,
you go to hook up to it and nothing's working.
a few years ago, we had that discussion, and it was opted for the safety and efficiency of the residents that all the properties be sprinkled.
Yep.
There was some opposition from developers going, oh, it's gonna cost at $18,000. How much is your kid's life worth?
Yep.
Simple as that, not to be, most of the things it's for safety. Like I said, large developments, Walker Road, as you guys know, is not the biggest and best road in the municipality. So I'm sure our abutters and other people on the road are going to be concerned about traffic.
Mhm.
One of the things we will do is we'll have a public hearing and we listen to them. We take everything that they say seriously. It may sound frivolous to someone, but to the landowner, the neighbor, it's a serious matter. Because this is their home, their neighborhood. Tim, anything from your professional standard? I know this is brand new to you.
No, just looking at lot 6, wondering what the wetland densities are.
That one.
What's that leave you for buildable acreage?
Well, it's a 5-acre lot, so there should be plenty left over. If it was 50-50, you still got 2.5 left over. We did leave a little strip here that's over 20 feet wide that we can sneak a driveway through. So we should be able to fit that with no wetland impact.
I was looking at that going, is there any way to reconfigure that so both lots would be coming off the Walker Road? So that from lot 2 would actually, lot 5 would actually be split. into
Yeah, it's
two between 5
It's the
and 6.
frontage, that's the kicker. The need for that 300 feet of frontage.
Well, part of that frontage on, oh, you got the full 300 feet is on Walker Road. That's the other thing,
yeah.
we're gonna need all the dimensions.
Oh, everything's going to be on it. Yep,
Everything.
everything. Yep.
So, again, the last thing we want is missing data that's gonna hold you guys up when it comes time for us to go. We're ready to vote, it looks good. And then, oh, wait a minute, this is missing. We don't want that. Because unfortunately, Don Herman is no longer here in the board, but he was always saying, be successful and pay taxes. Thinking of you, Don. Anyone else have a comment, question? This is the preliminary, and as you know, it's not gonna happen in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely not. There's no way. Sorry, it's not going to happen in 2 weeks.
A realistic expectation that things can cause a delay in the,
Yeah.
in the business. Do you have any other questions for us?
I do not either. You guys have anything you want to add? No?
So the subdivision requirements and the street requirements are on the website.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go through those and I'll try to hunt down that 250-foot frontage thing for the back lot. It doesn't ring a bell for me because a back lot is a back lot. It doesn't have frontage, but
I don't
it's,
think there's any requirement for any street.
I'm just trying to remember because I live on a little 3-unit subdivision.
yeah.
And when it was broken out, it was like, I have this much, my neighbor has this much, my neighbor has this much. And again,
We'll find it if it's there.
between work and going, okay, I gotta get ready for tonight.
Yeah, because it says right here, backlot access. The existing backlot meets all land use and dimensional requirements of the zoning other than street frontage.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I thought.
Okay,
is that on subdivision or backlot?
That's backlot access. That's under,
The regular ordinance.
yes, street ordinance.
Oh, on the
Street ordinance.
Let me look, see what I'm on. I can't remember.
Yeah, you're right. Too many books.
That's not even the municipal charter or shoreline zoning.
Almost there. Jeez, I didn't realize. Street acceptance,
Street acceptance, that's
street acceptance.
this man.
That's the salmon colored one, salmon.
Street.
Right.
Salmon Street. I got you.
Oh,
That
she
works.
got-
It's
She's
right
good.
on the computer.
Whoever created that smart.
What page is that on?
What page? It was a 1.6. I think it was. I gotta look again.
Design standards or plans.
No, it's not
That's
1.6. It's after that.
Oh, page 4?
No. Hang on, I'm getting there again.
Yeah, and on that, 1-6.2 also has
It's got the whole table. Yeah.
the whole table.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, one of the first things it says is travel width 20-foot paved.
It's section 2.1, page 11.
2.
And it says it means a legally executed easement or right of way.
Okay. So we could do an easement then.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it also requires 50-foot width of the.
Yeah, we've got that on there already. So,
And
so I'm hearing 50-foot easement, no problem. The frontage is fine. Road design.
Correct.
from a professional standpoint, the easement is going to give you more roadblocks in the future.
Yeah.
Than a real estate appraiser.
There you go.
So when someone says, oh, you have an easement, well, that easement can be changed and blocked. Something happens and it can be taken to court and that easement can be shifted detrimentally.
Yep.
Doesn't happen often.
No.
But it can happen. So the deeded right of way,
Okay,
private
we'll,
road.
we'll take a look at that. The reason I would prefer the easement because this lot is 5 acres.
Yep.
So I'd have to steal some land from the back, not the end of the world. We've got acres and acres back there. But the way we laid it out, it was kind of nice because these 3 are kind of up on a bluff almost, and then it sort of drops off down here to the stream. So it'd be really nice, I think, nice spots.
The
But
other
we'll
thing-
make it work.
The other thing is they're gonna be required to have a hammerhead on that.
Well, I've got a little turn off, a little T. So I think by NFPA that's acceptable, but I'll look at that. If the fire chief wants a true hammerhead, the T shape, I can do that too.
The fire chief is very happy, he likes his hammerheads.
Love it. Okay.
That way there, the truck can get in,
Yep.
back in,
Yep.
turn around, get out. instead of jockeying around someone's driveway.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame him.
And of course, there's all the drainage and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying that the easement can't be part of that lot?
Well, it can be, we just have to pick up that lost acreage.
Because I don't see that in here.
Okay, well, typically a right of way is separate from the actual lot itself. So if I have 5 acres here, but I subtract whatever this easement is, or it would be a right of way, I've got to pick that 5 acres back up somewhere back from those lots.
Typically, if you have the dimensions and everything spelled out
Yep.
together with a right of way consisting da.
Yeah.
And then for lot 4 would be with the right of way as a principal owner of it,
Yep, exactly.
but it is still extracted from the overall land mass.
Yes,
I knew that.
you paid attention.
20 some odd years.
There you go.
Cecile?
I'm just reading that, I think it just applies to one dwelling unit, to
Which does?
the, for a back lot, the easement.
Okay,
Said easement or right of way provides, or will provide access and or frontage exclusively to a single back lot containing only one use or one single family dwelling unit.
That was I hadn't been able to find whether we could classify it as a back lot because that word a.
Yep.
A is specific singular. That is why, in my mind, I hadn't had a source to confirm it.
yeah.
Where it's got to be a right of way, a private road.
Okay, so we'll assume it's a private road with a right of way.
It says here, no additional lots can use it for access without first meeting the dimensional and construction standards for private ways.
Okay, yeah, so it has to be a road then.
Yeah.
Basically, yep.
The more you can do, and
Oh, yeah, Yep.
you know,
Read.
yeah.
Yes, right.
I'll read the salmon one, I'll read the green one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the light green, and then
You know, you got a blue.
And if you want, we. Yeah, like the last thing we want to do is hold you guys up.
No, we appreciate that.
As you know, the market's turned.
Could turn back.
So the faster you can get in, sell your lots, build your houses, get
Yep.
homeowners in, you know, they're happy, they're loving it, they're members of Lyman, and kids are going to school, and you guys are.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
In another town.
Section 2.3 is an area you want to read.
Of
It
which,
talks about the private ways and more than one unit.
okay. So, of which book?
That's the.
The roads,
standards.
okay.
Yep,
You said 2-3?
2.3.
Street is name.
Private way construction standard, street intersection.
Yes,
Access to other private right of ways. Parking, storage, drainage, sediment. Again,
yeah, all of it.
It's all there.
this is the basic one, which is a zone, and then we get into the specifics of the subdivision and the specifics on the street design ordinance, which
They're all part of the same animal, basically.
all part, one refers to the other. Hopefully, we don't have contradictory data, which has been known to happen. One ordinance says one thing, and then it's,
The one gets updated, the other one.
Yes,
doesn't.
yes, exactly.
and
Please
we-
point that out.
If I find it, I will.
That happens a lot.
we try to be as,
If it hurts us, we will. If it benefits us, we didn't see it.
Oh, yeah, right.
we try to be as amicable as possible to help people out. But then we do have the final say.
Of course.
So it behooves everyone to try to work together and just, let's get your project done. And don't hesitate. We got Rebecca down there. She's a gem. Julie, well, watch out for her.
Yeah.
I heard she's tough.
Cracks the-
Yeah. And don't hesitate. If they have something, they'll come back at us,
Yep.
you know, and say, well, we're thinking about this. What do you guys think? And we'll get it on the agenda and address it and work with you.
Appreciate that.
Okay?
Anything else, guys?
I think we are good.
All righty. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
Oh, did you guys want to do a sidewalk?
We will wait till the plan is done. That way there, because when we have the site walk, the public is invited.
Yeah.
So they can go walk through and go, I used to pick blueberries here, it's my favorite hunting ground or whatever. Yeah, and then after the site walk, after the plan is considered basically complete, we do the site walk, we'll have the public hearing. After the public hearing, if there's any issues that come about, they're addressed, come back. Hopefully after the site walk and the public hearing, everyone's happy and we approve the plan. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. 9:56, 9:56. All right. Got it. I thought I was wrong last time. Okay, here it is. All right, now we have Mr. Dan Crook, Salem Capital, and we have Attorney Julian Gerard representing. Yes, please approach.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
For the record, I am Julian Gerard. I'm with Desmond Rand and Gerard. And I'm here on behalf of Mr. Crook in relation to the convenience store located at 301 Middle Road in town here.
Yep.
And so my objective tonight is I understand that an application has been submitted. I'd like to see what are the missing features, components of that application. And hopefully we can get the missing pieces put back in place and we'll be back.
From my perspective, would love to see the store reopen, gas pumps and a diner or little cafe. People used to love to go there. We've gotten response from the people that are looking to have it. What we need is compliance with the ordinance. And I understand Mr. Crook's frustration. He, like some people, came in hoping that it was going to be a walk-in, rubber stamp and done. We have ordinance that we have to follow.
Absolutely.
There are things that, yes, that development was done, but it was done 20 years ago. We don't have all the plans. He unfortunately wasn't presented with, so we still need that information in order to approve it.
Okay.
For instance,
Do you all have a site plan checklist in front of you?
we have, there's lighting there
Sure.
that's broken.
Yep.
What's gonna happen with that? Is it gonna be fixed?
So just to be specific, are you talking about exterior, interior lights?
lighting, yeah.
Okay.
As a for instance, this, I pulled up these, I managed to find, is plans for a sister development. This happens to be this is me, so this is the old Firkenstocks, which is right down here on the corner of Route 111 and Route 35. The stuff that's required in there is the lighting. This is everything from generator noise to septics to plans for, again, for the lighting, the location, size, capacity of the fuel storage tanks. Yes, we understand that they are, were tested and certified till 2027, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look.
So there was an annual inspection done,
There's regular inspections.
right? And we've spoken to GAFTEC and,
Yeah.
and GAFTEC says, the tanks are empty. And at this point, there's nothing further to test until the tanks are refilled.
And one of the things our concern was, because that has been vacant for so long, there's a number of vegetation growth around the perimeter of that tank. Has the piping been compromised due to roots? If they fill that 10,000, 20,000 gallons and we have a root intrusion, now we are slowly contaminating the soil beneath it.
So my question to the board would be, what sort of documentation in relation to the roots would be acceptable?
That, I believe, would fall under the purview of the DEP addressing our concerns and going, we have inspected and reviewed the tank, we have pressure tested it. from the tank to the lines or whatever. And found that there's no leakage. 'Cause as we know, over time, liquids leak down. If there's a way to find it, they will find it. Bill had mentioned the lighting. One of the things is we need to know the size, location of the lights, the looms. Are they gonna be on 24/7? Is it does it have the potential to interfere with the harmony of the neighborhood? Granted, there's no one there now. 2 years, someone could put a house on the next lot over. And then they can't sleep at night because the location of the lights is beaming in their eyes. So we gotta know that stuff, and we gotta have it all.
Okay,
If you look at the fuel tank, where the fill is for the tank
sure.
and everything else, it's got trees growing up through there.
Yeah, so the
You know,
trees, so the original, or the current title owner, Salem Capital Group, those trees were only put there at the request of a previous board in order to obstruct the fuel tanks from
These are wild
view.
trees.
These are growing up through the pipes.
Like, so are they trees, or are they,
It's everything from scrub to probably,
Okay.
what'd you say, a 2-inch sapling?
At least that, yeah. If you go look at it, you'll see what's there. And the only question is there any damage from that
Sure.
stuff growing?
yeah, absolutely.
And, to say, well, we're not gonna ask about it, it's like, it's kind of obvious.
I'm just trying to see if, oh, here's a picture that we took at our site inspection. And you can see, that's the tank, and those are all the trees all around, and this is the side. If you go to the back side, it's even more.
I do believe those are, I'll have to confirm, but I do believe those are the trees that,
Well, there's pine, but this is all scrub stuff.
okay.
So
So you're talking about this.
this is the main tank, this is the tank. This is the septic system and all everything else attached to it.
Yeah, this is I believe this is the front. Okay, and all your pipes, fill pipes are all in here, and these trees are all growing up through the pipes.
Absolutely, and we're willing to get rid of the
So,
trees.
but you want to make sure
But
there's
of
no
course, that
damage.
doesn't satisfy the concern regarding.
That's all. We just don't want broken pipes underground and fill the tank and then we
With
have.
fuel, I
to
can,
You know,
can appreciate that. Okay,
Successful business in this municipality adds to the friendliness of it.
absolutely.
And like I said, people, I used to go hunting in that area, and when I'd take breaks, I'd go have lunch over there. I worked in Sanford. I went down the old Cunningham Pond, the old North Berwick Road. On my way to work and back, that's where I'd stop and get gas because it was inexpensive fuel. So it's a benefit to the municipality. I'm just looking at what, where am I?
so when we stopped, we were going through the checklist. So we never got through the whole thing.
Right, that's what I was. Because we had a bunch of, nothing's, this is the other thing is that nothing's changed. Even though it hasn't changed, we still don't have information regarding it. Like one of the things, and it may sound trivial, but the last thing we want to do is rubber stamp something because we said, well, we need the parking lot and all the parking spaces labeled out. Cecile mentioned that they need X amount of handicap spots, and one of them has to be van accessible. We need them on a survey. Let's see if I can.
Yeah, so that was my question. Do you, in relation to the parking spots, is you guys want to see a plan
Yes.
from a
we-
surveyor that it looks like that?
Yes.
Yes.
So not somebody
And this
drawing
was just a
in.
preface one.
Yep,
If you want to take a look. This doesn't even get down to the nitty gritty. You're seeing right here, all the parking spaces. There's a handicap spot. There's the van accessible.
Sure.
This is gonna be, that's a set of tanks, that's a set of tanks, that's the pump storage, generator, backup generators, ACs. Yeah. Not to unduly delay him, that's the overall large site. Again, well, if you look here,
This is what we. You know, He's kind of.
I think this is
Yeah.
what I'm here for, I'm trying to understand.
Right, and we want this to succeed, you know, here's lighting. Entrance, lighting, and
That
then,
shows you where the lighting is, but that doesn't give you any more.
We did a site walk there and it was, the lights are broken. You can tell it just looking at them. So
Yeah.
The question was, what are you gonna do? Well, if we don't need them,
that's
well,
when
we didn't really get an answer.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to make it difficult for them. It's
No,
just,
absolutely.
we just need an answer. What's it gonna be? Let's put it on paper so when we sign this, it's all done.
right,
This is the agreement.
and last thing is, we don't want a couple of years from now, someone to get upset, come in and say, wait, I was here 15 years ago and you guys allowed this to happen, and find some little checkbox on the ordinance, and all of a sudden, all of us are getting sued. That's the last thing we want. So, like I said, with the illumination, somewhere in this 100+ page is the illumination. We got rainfall, average rainfall, expected rainfall. You know, it's just, and unfortunately, the original owner, developer, for whatever reason, does not have the package. Why we don't have it, I don't know.
Do we have a copy of the checklist we can get?
You want to?
I have the checklist in front of me, so that's
Oh,
what I was
okay,
hoping
all right.
that we could kind of work from the same and just go through them one by one.
Can we go through that? where
We
are?
certainly can,
Bring them up to date on it.
and I understand you were getting frustrated last time. I perfectly understand, because, no worries, no worries. That's why I said, we hope to have you back here, which we're glad you're back here.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
You know? Doing this is an investment of time and money and everything else. That's complete. Get this out of the way.
Let's go through that list.
All right, site plan checklist. And this has. All right. That's. So many papers. We had requests for waivers. I'm trying to, here they are. Okay.
Do you want a copy of the ones that I had taken notes on,
Yeah, because I think we ended up with like 2 or 3 different ones.
that you had made votes on, you had verified some from the sidewalk?
Yes, if you have that,
I will go make copies,
thank you.
I will make copies for
Thank
you,
Thank you.
for you, and you, so we can all follow along on all this, and we'll all be on the same page.
Yeah, it's just 6/3, 6/25,
626 is when we did the.
another one from 6/3. Got these in order. 6/3. Do you have any questions for us while we're waiting for that to come through?
So just to clarify on the parking spaces, now, is it the board's position that a surveyor needs to do that, or will you accept a scale drawing?
We had asked them to just draw it on the map. What are you giving us?
Okay,
So we knew where it was.
okay.
Well, the other thing is, by the ordinance, they're gonna be a certain size.
Yeah, I understand you need to see the dimensions.
Right.
That's what I'm
And-
saying, if there's a scale drawing in lieu
Well,
of.
it's gonna be it should be 1 to 40. He asked for a waiver. We've granted the waiver because of the size of this. But there's other things, like I said, we still need those things presented to us. Like the lighting,
Yeah.
the parking.
Absolutely.
Where the pump is, where the holding tank is. Does he have a backup generator? We need information. The backup generator, what's the decibel level? You know, because the neighbors don't want to hear this going off and disturbing them.
Thank you.
So we need that information. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sorry to be a copy though.
I know, it's all right.
You'll be fine, you'll be fine.
Oh, well,
You'll live, you'll survive. All right.
I made an extra copy for you too.
Oh, you're the best.
I counted.
All right. If we go down, the few is done. 8.3.5C, that was provided. A waiver was asked for the site plan.
And I noted that there was gonna be one to 50.
Yep.
Instead of 1 to 40. Right?
Yep. The name and address of the applicant plus the name of the proposed development. That was done, moved and approved. Total floor plan coverage and location of each proposed building structure in addition was not applicable. It's an existing structure. Then a perimeter survey parcel made by a certified registered land surveyor licensed and named related to the reference points. Plan must show true or magnetic north graphic scale corners of the parcel, date of the survey, which was presented, that was the only one we had.
So a perimeter survey was presented?
An old one from when the original proposal was done.
Okay, so why would that be invalid?
No, it was waived. We're not.
Oh, gotcha,
We're
gotcha,
not
okay.
requiring a new one.
Thank you. Okay.
Sorry about that. Yes. Okay, all existing and proposed setbacks, that was moved and approved. Again, it's existing, that plan showed them.
Yep.
The size, location, and intensity of illumination, the majority of outdoor lighting apparatuses. Put mark on site plan showing lights and signs. That's one thing we need to have. As I showed you on that other one, from an existing plan that we approved a couple of years ago. Light post, light post, light post, and then in the documentation, we are using GE Sylvania, whatever. This, it's gonna be down here, it's gonna provide this illumination, it's not gonna be directing airplanes into the Sanford Airport.
Mhm.
That, like, that and the intensity,
I think that one was halfway done, because he did mark it on the plan.
yes, he was working on it.
Yeah, I mean, he does have a plan drawing where he has,
Right.
punched in where, he thinks the lights are going to go. But
We
we,
just had keyword, thinks the lights are going.
where the lights are going to go, I
So if you go
misspoke.
on an architect scale and go, that scale of 1 to 50, and it's putting down, and it's not, we need accountability.
Gotcha.
The plan's gonna be recorded.
Yeah.
The registry of deeds, so it's gonna be correct.
Well, a new plan is not going to be recorded.
The site plans,
When everything, the site plan review and everything is overdone and said,
Oh, this is the site, okay, the approved site. plan.
this packet essentially gets sent to and recorded at the registry of deeds.
Okay.
That way there, 20 years down the road, someone says, oh, wait a minute, we didn't expect this, no, it was here. It was all done, I's dotted, T's crossed. The location and on, someone whose stamp is going to be held accountable. You know,
All right, so that's standard 6, right?
that was number 6.
And then not applicable for 7.
Yeah, number 7, type size, location of all incineration devices. He's not gonna have it. 99 times out of 100, that's not applicable. We never know if we're gonna have a veterinarian that's gonna be providing cremation.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's something that at some time in the past came up as an issue.
Okay.
Okay, type, size, location of all machinery likely to generate appreciable noise at the lot lines, as well as estimated decibel levels from the property lines. And he was not gonna put up a backup generator. If there was a backup generator, that's where that one comes into play. He's not rolling in an old diesel military that's gonna be, you can hear it 3 miles away.
Okay, so for our purposes,
That was not applicable.
Not applicable.
standard 8 would be not applicable.
Number 9, the location, type, size of all existing and proposed catch basins, storm drains, facilities, wetlands, streams, water courses, as well as utilities above and below ground. That was to be verified. And we walked through the sidewalk. There were no catch basins or storm drains or anything like that. We observed the utility lines. So that was verified at the sidewalk.
Okay, so would it be appropriate to say that that condition's been satisfied?
Yes, right.
Okay, all contours and proposed finished grade elevations, portions of the site which will be altered, and the system of drainage proposed to be constructed, contour levels shall be specified by the planning board. He was making no alterations to it. So there was no changes. Should there be a survey with the elevations? Yes. Is the lot basically flat? Yes. We determined, I think, that we didn't need a new elevation survey for a flat plane that may go up a foot. So that was number 10. Okay, location, type, and size of all of curbs, sidewalks, driveways, fences, retaining walls, parking spaces, area, etc., and the layout thereof, together with dimensions. Note, need parking spaces, layout, and number of spaces to be verified. That was,
That's outstanding.
it's, again, the big thing with parking spaces, it's gonna be lined, the handicap ADU. You get someone that has a handicap and they don't have a parking space, there's an issue.
That certainly is an issue.
It protects everybody, Because the other thing is he doesn't want people pulling in and just parking diagonal, crooked and everything going, well, there wasn't any spaces.
Absolutely. And I'm not eager to defend a claim at the Human Rights Commission.
Yeah.
Um, Okay,
Everything
so,
here is sensible.
sure.
Yep.
So standard 11 would be outstanding,
Yep.
and that's only in relation to the parking spaces.
In the lighting,
Uh,
sidewalk,
Is that part of?
we had the lighting, we
11?
had lighting.
Lighting's above, right? Standard 6?
Does the plan show, does it show the driveways, the entrances and stuff?
Yeah, those were
Oh,
pre-existing.
the old plan, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Need parking spaces, okay. Number 12, all proposed landscaping sizes, type of plants, material upon the premises. He's not changing anything, he's not putting in flower gardens, he's not putting in,
So we're all set.
yeah,
Yes.
we waived that one. Nope, not applicable.
No change in landscape.
Number 13, all existing and proposed right-of-ways, easements, or legal restrictions which may affect the premises in the section. Nothing's been changed, it's been there. He's not doing an addition on the back, he's not punching a new curb cut or anything like that, not applicable. Number 14, the property lines of all properties abutting the proposed development, including properties across the street or across the water body, together with a tax map, lot number, property owners' names, and mailing addresses on file with the town office within 10 days of the filing of the applicant. Needs to amend the abutters to date. And that's got to be on the survey.
The current abutters,
The
excuse me.
current butters as
Okay.
of, you guys, oh, you were just stretching it. I thought you were getting my attention. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, there's minimal stuff left, what I remember. It's necessary stuff. It's housekeeping.
Okay.
Okay, number 16, the appropriate box on each page of the plans for signatures and planning board. Who's there?
Just to clarify, sir, that's 15, correct?
15.
That was number
Then
15.
Okay.
You said 16.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
And number 16.
Now, number 16,
Satisfied.
documentation of right title of interest in the proposed site, and that was presented. So that was all done and approved.
Okay.
All right, number 17. On-site soils investigation report by the Maine State Licensed Site Evaluator. The report shall identify the type of soil, location of test pits, and proposed location and design of subsurface disposal systems. It's existing. It's similar to that as our concerns about potential leakage from the oil store or the gas holding tank.
So is
It's not
that
specifically-
condition satisfied or is that still up?
That was existing, so
Okay.
this, it specifically is satisfied, but that was part of our concerns about the age of the tank. The tank itself may be fine, a line could be cracked. So we want, before he gets into business, fills those tanks and starts dumping, come to find out that he is slowly losing 300 gallons a week that is contaminating the soil. Now that whole thing needs to be dug up, remediation. Make sense?
It does make sense. I'm just struggling with what GAF is telling me in relation to the tanks and their testing of that.
When was the last time those?
They were out there
The
and,
tank was tested. Was the pumps tested?
well, I don't know that. And so I'm not going to opine on that.
Right. That's one of the things. You know, they're tested for gallon. They're testing to see if the tank holds, but are the lines holding? Have the lines been compromised?
And I don't think, based on my understanding of what GAF has told me, that they can't test that until there's fuel. There's no fuel in the tanks right now.
I would ask the state what they have, what their thoughts on that are.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that would be a good route because they're technically the ones that are gonna say yes.
okay.
You know, if they go look at it and say, we're fine,
Happy, great. And
Okay.
that's just alleviating concerns, public concerns.
And I get those concerns and I don't think they're unreasonable at all. I'm just trying to understand what's going to satisfy the board in terms of. And
Someone's stamp on, it says, I, professional designee, take responsibility, assert and affirm that this is safe and meets criteria.
sure. Okay.
All right, number 18. Type of any raw, finished, or waste material to be stored in or outside of roof buildings, including their physical, chemical properties, if appropriate. And there was a note that it's going to be food, soaps, sanitizers, general trash, and it's going to be in a dumpster. He's not doing any harsh chemicals, he's not producing something, he's not, so that was accepted.
Very good.
That, all that criteria is fine. Number 19. Traffic data. The planning board may require the applicant to include traffic engineering study should the project be considered one of substantial magnitude along any of the town's highways where fast-moving traffic, i.e. Route 111, 35, or 5, should a traffic study be requested by the planning board, the following data shall be included.
so we had already discussed that.
Yeah.
And we said that
That
there was
we're
no
not
need for a
required.
study, so we're all set.
Then there was number 20. Any other information or data the planning board determines is necessary to demonstrate compliance with town, state, and federal regulations. Then that was to be verified, which was the things we've been discussing, such as potential contamination, the location of all the lightings and everything, just those little things. There's not a whole lot left.
No, there really isn't.
No, it's not like we're requesting the building be torn down and rebuilt and, it's what appears to be a good solid structure, built up code. Of course, it will need a building inspection, code enforcement inspection. If he does with gas, all those will need, but those are beyond our purview.
Okay.
And then after that is all done, then we have the other standards that will have to be,
So you're not going to look at 8.36B until 8.38 is
is
satisfied?
done and complete.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's why, we tell people, everything's gotta be done and said before we can come back another public hearing, which will require another site plan, not site plan, site walk.
Okay. This is very helpful.
You know,
Not a
and,
lot.
There's not.
no, it's just.
It's just getting it done.
Because there's all these things that you go and can be very overwhelming. So understand, we are trying to be as helpful as possible.
Absolutely.
We want this to succeed. You know?
All right, unless the board has any questions for myself or Mr. Crook.
No,
That's it for me.
I would suggest, like we do with everyone, look at the zoning ordinance and then 836B and take a look at that, go over that, make sure everything in there is in compliance as well as the previous ones. And that is available all online.
I got it right here.
All right.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you all.
Hopefully we cleared up everything and made it.
No, and thank you for your patience throughout this entire
Oh, that's what we're
process.
here for.
No, I've watched the videos. You guys have been,
Difficult, I know.
I wouldn't say that. I think you guys have been reasonable and you've been patient, and myself and my client appreciate that.
No problem. Good luck. We look forward to having you back here with everything and going. Here's everything plus.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, have a great evening.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Dan.
6:27.
So
Sorry the last time. Apologize.
No. We understand. It's overwhelming. There's all this data and these books and codes. And your mind gets blown away going, oh my God, I'm never gonna get this done. We want to work with you folks.
Especially if we have like a long day of in the kitchen and all the stuff, and you just came here and then you.
We get it.
Sorry.
We get it. You're not the first one that's been frustrated with us. You certainly won't be the last one.
Thank you, guys.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, have a good night.
Thank you.
All right.
do we have anything for an agenda?
Well,
Until somebody comes in, we don't have anything, do we?
No, unless somebody wants to come back next time,
And they will contact you, I'm sure.
I'm sure. So what I have for next time is no Kelly. Again,
I gotta double check that. I'm not sure if it's September and October or September and November.
you told us back
September, October?
in August, 9/18 and 10/16. I wrote it down.
Okay, then you are correct.
I won't be here on the 16th either.
So I would entertain a motion that if nothing pressing comes before the board, that we save the taxpayers millions and millions of dollars by not holding a meeting on the the third Wednesday of the
Somebody's
month.
delusional. Whoa.
And if something comes before, ooh, can we do that if both chair and vice chair are absent? Can we appoint interim? Or just meet for general discussion if you so choose, if the three of you want to meet?
I would say let's meet next month.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oops, I can't spell yet.
MEET.
All
okay.
right, who made the motion?
I said I'd entertain a motion, so I'll make the motion that we hold the next meeting in November.
I'll second that.
We got a motion and a second to hold the next meeting, which will be November 6th. Do we have any discussion or all in favor? All opposed? November 6th, is that, you're opposed?
Is that voting day?
That vote was all a yay.
On the 5th. I
No,
think.
the 5th is voting day.
Tuesday,
we're on a
was the
Wednesday.
Tuesday before.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I just
Good
had
catch.
to ask.
Oh, good catch.
Okay, got it. We'll see if anything comes up. I'll let
Yeah,
know.
you never know. And
I did mention to Tim about the separate email for the planning board if he wants to set one up. He does have one currently on that sheet. But if he changes it,
mhm.
obviously we will let you know. We meaning me.
Oh, you mean like the Gmail,
Yeah, like you did.
You know, the band Gmail?
Huh?
The band Gmail?
And Gmail,
The
I know.
band Gmail, the band everything.
All right, CEO updates.
The only thing that I had, and it's basically come from the issue with Dan Crook, is when you've deemed an application
Complete.
incomplete, and I think I emailed all of you, I think it might be something to consider is to send the applicant a letter telling them what's incomplete, so that when they come back, they have an idea what to come back with, like the zoning board of appeals, and I think you have a copy of that in your package there to see what they sent out.
I understand that, and
So when we had a couple meetings ago, we discussed a lot of this.
Mm.
And I thought we had kind of left it that when they come into your office, between you and Julie, you would say, yeah, this should go to the planning board because it's complete, or it's not, before it gets to the planning board. And maybe I'm misunderstood, but I thought that's kind of where we were at.
That's what we had discussed, but I don't
Yeah.
actually have the authority to deem an application complete.
right,
That is, it's your authority. I can
right.
gather what they give me and send it to you, but I can't stop them from coming
Right.
here by saying it's not a complete application.
Right, one of the things, as I say in the opening of every single one, in each instance, the burden is upon the applicant to demonstrate compliance with the provisions of the applicable ordinance. So what I meant, and I mentioned to Julie, sadly, you were out of the office, what was it, Friday? If there's something that arises, you know, if you could guide them through the standards, the 16 standards or whatever, and go, they are going to require a survey. If it's dealing with shoreline, we're definitely gonna require a survey. We are definitely gonna need to know the setbacks. We are definitely. Don't come to us with line graph paper and a crayon. You know, because this is a professional document. This is going to be, you know, legal and binding. If they are asking for a waiver, don't just say waiver requested. Why are you requesting a waiver? Give us specifics. Because we don't want them to come back to the municipality and go, well, why did the board grant this waiver when they didn't grant me a waiver?
I have a question on the waiver issue. We discussed the waiver and who can actually give a waiver. And I thought a lot of what we had talked about is the zoning board can approve the waiver, the planning board can't.
Zoning board could approve a variance, but they're asking you to waive pieces of your application process.
So are we waiving it, or are we saying it's not applicable? Because to me, that's a different set standard altogether. We say it doesn't apply, so we're not waiving it, we're saying it doesn't apply.
I think that's something you'll have to determine as a board. I can't answer that. That you guys would have to decide that question.
Yeah.
To me, if an item is missing, there's a documentation about why it's not there. Then you have then you can hand it over to us, but each item should be addressed. So if they don't have a particular item, and it's a good reason why they don't, and maybe they want to ask for a waiver, or it may not be applicable, but if they document that, and so that at least when we see this, we say they've given some thought, they just didn't say, whoops, I forgot. But I don't have it, or I don't need it, because the ordinance says, you know. So if there's if each point is documented, that each point that's missing something, then if that's documented and that's presented to us with the application filled in as much as possible,
Do you get
then
the
I think
feeling
that would be fine with us.
we're going through a change?
Hmm.
Things are changing with what our job is.
I don't know, I don't have anything to base
See,
it on.
it seems to me that everything's shifting around and we're kind of fumbling because we don't know where we're at with it.
Well, in the past, I mean, the code enforcement officer has attended and discussed the preliminary application.
Right.
And sort of helped us along to describe why the item is not there, or why it doesn't need to be there, or whatever. And I know that's still a learning process for you too, and us too, but at least if we're, at
With the
least.
site plan checklist, which is what we work on, the first thing is they have the section, and then, is this documentation submitted? I can't say I speak for the board, but for me, if we had a list that, number 5, all existing and proposed setbacks, that was submitted, that would be checked off there. Then we look, is it approved? Or if there's not applicable or waiver requested, we would have a secondary documentation stating, this waiver has been requested due to, we're not doing, the applicant is not making any changes to this feature or to this issue, versus just a 2-word, not applicable.
I thought with the attorney Julian there, I thought that was very effective. I thought that went well.
That was, and that's where that
Yeah.
came from,
Right.
Right.
If it makes it as far as coming in front of you, and you're looking through the application, and you're saying, okay, this is incomplete, I've got all the documents you submitted, but this is incomplete, and here's why.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Like, that should probably be put in a letter or document to the applicant, so they know exactly what, instead of just redirecting them, go back to the zoning, because they thought they already did that. That's what I'm talking about. But it's really up to you guys to decide what you do. It was just a thought that I had thought that might assist in streamlining a little bit.
So if we had a PDF document, hope I don't get in trouble here. If we have a PDF document and you're going through the 19 items
Mhm.
and a place for us, for our comments as we're discussing it, and we need this, we need this, we need this, okay, print it out, give it to them, here you go.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
The other thing, though, this is a different case than a lot that we've had, that a lot of the applicants, they all get this checklist with their application. They bring it with them and they'll take notes, so that they're noting what they need to bring back, what's missing, what they have to, provide, so that when they come to the next meeting, they know what they need to
The
provide.
thing is, it shouldn't get to us until that checklist has been done. And if they have a question as to why is this needed, that's when they approach us and go, why is this needed, versus,
Yeah, but
I want them to be proactive versus reactive.
that's all gonna be dependent on if it's done in your office before it gets to us, or if we make
Right.
that decision. So that's really where it falls. And we just gotta understand where it is so we can go forward.
Yeah, most of the delays could be avoided by going through and just sitting. And this is a lot for the average individual. Sadly, a lot of times it will require a professional set of eyes on it. But I hate to see a repeat, because I felt it was unnecessary. And I think it artificially delayed. But we don't know what the delay is going to be until it comes before us. Or the explanation for why this is waived. Again, a not applicable, why is it not applicable? A 1 sentence, 2 sentence saying, I'm not putting on an additional curb cut, therefore, or it's not going to be on a major artery, therefore, it's not applicable to this application.
When we went to that MMA seminar, one of the big things that they tried to get us to understand, documentation and why. put it forth. It's gotta be documented and laid out for them. That's why I said, if we had, did that form, we'd have that, we have our documentation for our file, you can give it to them, they've got all that to go forward with, then we have something to fall back on legally if it becomes an issue at a different level.
I've been thinking about seeing if I could take a refresher class from the MMA.
That was a good class, it really was, it was very good.
The last time I took it, it was the ceiling high, and that was 7, 8.
I've taken it a couple of times. I went with John too.
There's a webinar on the 10th, I'm trying to get Tim signed up for. If you want to sign up for that, I can,
On the 10th.
yep, it's a webinar, from 4:30 to 8:30.
Everything I'd seen was we had to go somewhere.
This one is, yeah, it just popped
Oh.
up, yep.
That's how I do
I'm not
mine.
going to Bangor.
Yeah.
I have my technological savviness. Do you need to have a response camera? Because I don't have any cameras on my computers.
No, I don't believe.
Not on a webinar, no.
It's just
Okay.
You can't ask questions, I don't think. I think it's
Okay,
it's just a presentation.
cool. So
Yeah. pretty sure.
Okay. knowledge is good.
Email me if you want me to sign you up, and I'll get you signed up.
Anything on the state, on the ADUs or primary buildings, changes that they've been making,
I mean,
telling us we have to do?
nothing that's set in stone, I'm still within the ordinance that I have, because any changes that'll get made will be done at the election. I think the discussions have all been at the ORC meetings, but it didn't involve me.
I was gonna say, speaking of changes in ordinance, I happened to catch on YouTube that there was a meeting between the ordinance review committee, I believe it was the comprehensive plan, and the municipal authority or whatever. And I'm curious why the planning board was not invited as.
I attended. I didn't, wasn't an invitation. I was in the audience.
Thank you.
And I asked a question, I think.
Because I'm going through that, I'm like, this is stuff that's gonna be very applicable and relevant to the planning board, and I was just like,
Right. Yeah,
I
we
thought
should
we should have been.
I thought the same, that we should have been part of the discussion group, because the people discussing the ordinance review committee, the comprehensive plan committee members, and then the representative from Southern Maine, right? So they were having discussion, so the rest of us are in the audience, but I felt that the planning board probably should have been there too, asking questions. Or participating in the discussion.
Do you feel like the ugly stepchildren?
Redheaded
No.
ugly stepchildren.
No,
It just caught my attention because I routinely go on the town's Facebook page and YouTube and like, I thought that was relevant for the planning board to be there.
I'm gonna look at that, setting up a PDF for that checklist. I'll see what I can do with that. See if that'll be a workable solution. You kind of need.
Oh, and last meeting, I had mentioned to you that, because the question about who can suggest or write changes to the ordinances, and I said, planning board is significant. And Cecilia, if we go to the charter commission, page 13, 315.3, proposes new modifications or revocations of any ordinance, select board, planning board, ordinance review committee, order of precedence. So I just wanted, not to discount the ordinance review committee, they have a tough job. Sometimes 13. Some of the things that we see as very important, short-term rentals. Others don't appear to have them on their radar. And I can tell you across the country, Blackwater, Vanguard are coming in, buying up houses under LLCs, putting lipstick on them and renting them out. So, and right now, short-term rentals, by their definition, as commercial properties, are not allowed in waterfront area. because we don't allow hotels and motels in the shoreline zoning. So that needs to, in my humble opinion, needs to be addressed.
Yeah, we don't have any rulings at all,
Nothing
no, which means
other than our shoreline zoning does not allow commercial applications.
Hmm.
I cannot buy a parcel of land on Munganut and say, I want to put up a hotel there or a motel. That is what a short-term rental is by the GSE.
that you could list your property with Airbnb or whatever.
That's commercial property, that's a short-term rental.
I know, but we don't monitor that. We don't have a rule on it.
The only thing we currently have in position is with the shoreline zoning, I believe, does not allow commercial enterprise.
Mm.
That's what, would you want your neighbor next to the pond having putting up an Airbnb, short-term rental? And let's say they have a beautiful, wonderful story 3/4 cape. And there's 4 bedrooms on the first floor, and they put a bedroom on this, 4 bedrooms on the first, bedroom on the main, 4 bedrooms, second floor, bedroom on the first. They have a full daylight walkout basement that they turn into a bunk room that sleeps 12 people. Now, every week you have 10 to 15 cars parking on your road. Oh, by the way, it's only got a 3-bedroom septic system. There's no,
Right, yeah, that's a gap.
that, in my humble opinion, in speaking with thousands across the nation, needs to be addressed. Because it's gonna potentially pollute the water quality of the ponds. It's gonna damage the roads and the butters properties with the parking. It could cause disturbances from the residents who don't want parties here every weekend, different cars from out of state. You got your neighbors, you know your neighbors. So it's my 2 cents.
Julie, do you need anything else for the agenda as of now? There's not really anything else to add, is there?
Right now, we have nothing for the next meeting, we're skipping it, unless something comes up.
Yeah, Harper is still on hold.
So,
Wasn't there a letter? Well, that was, the letter was about backlots. That was for that application.
So you're all gonna read the minutes and let me know.
I read the minutes from
for
last meeting.
9:24, yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine with that.
Are you fine
I'm
with
fine
it?
with those, yeah.
Well, then sign them.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, we'll have a motion. First off,
We did. Thank you.
Town of Lyman Planning Board Public Hearing Minutes, September 4th, 2024. Do we have any,
And
Make a
move to
motion.
approve.
we got 2 motions to
I'll
accept.
second.
We got a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
That's a vote. All right. Town of Lyman Planning Board meeting minutes, September 4th, 2024. Do we have
Yeah,
any
put your name. on the next
nitpicks,
one.
errors, omissions?
No.
None?
Those are fine.
Do I have a motion?
For
The planning board meeting minutes, that was a public
it?
hearing.
Okay, yep. So Did you make a motion?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay, I move to approve the meeting minutes.
And I'll second.
Got a motion second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done. If you could send that back to us.
Yeah.
right?
You have the letter?
I got the letter.
Officers?
Does this need to be voted on by the, I don't think so, it's just a statement from the planning board.
It's just a statement you have. to-
Actually, Tim can't sign that,
Oh, no.
he wasn't here,
He wasn't a member then.
didn't participate. Sorry, Tim.
It's all right.
No problem, I'm fine with it.
Do you need a new copy?
I don't worry about it.
Um,
All right, I got a letter that I have to sign. It's from the planning board to the Lyman Town Manager and Select Board, the subject election of planning board officers. To the Town of Lyman Charter, Section 5.1.2 states the board shall, A, elect officers. The planning board at its September 4th meeting, September 4th, 2024 meeting. Elect Kelly Demers as chair,
Nope, I forgot to put his name on there, his full name. I'll
William
fix
as
it.
vice chair, and Cecile Dupree as secretary for the fiscal year 2024/25. Please provide any comments or questions in writing. Sincerely, Kelly Demers, chair.
I'll have to put his last name on there.
So we'll amend it and,
We'll amend it and fix it. I missed that.
do we have a motion to accept it as amended?
I move.
Sorry about that.
Motion, second, any discussion? All in favor?
I
No. There you can vote on that, but this one.
Okay.
One second. Two little small things, this may be ego or, in the minutes last time I noticed that we were referred to by our first names. In professional settings, it should be, in my humble opinion, either Mr. Singleton or Mr. William Singleton. It's just more of a professional standing. Don't know. And the other thing is, for the last 10, 15 years, due to a situation that arose beyond my control, I have been using my middle initial on all my official documents. So it's Kelly J. Demers. That is just me to clarify something that happened in the past that someone's, oh, well, no, my initial name is. So it is what it is. So I prefer the middle initial for legal clarification.
On the signature though, not, you don't want your middle initial at every instance of your name being.
Oh, no. Just when the signatures require, and that's just,
So noted.
you know how identity theft and other things can happen. So it's,
Can I make a motion?
but sure.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Well, I think Tim had a comment. You started to speak up.
No, I'm good.
You're good?
We scared him.
I think we did too.
Okay.
Nothing further. We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Done. Closed at 6:53.
I hate it. Not even 7,
That's
it's
'cause I'm
dark.
Oh, it turned dark really quick.
I hate that.
And